Hey YouTube, what is up? I hope you all can hear me. Um, Welcome to a late night, not even late night, let me stop. A Sunday evening live. I wasn't gonna come live because y'all, I've been trying to prepare for the storm that's supposed to be coming our way and making sure that, I have everything that I need to have, everything that needs to be done. And so I was kind of busy during this weekend, but I had to jump on here just because I wanted to talk about a few things um, and just chat with y'all. So hopefully you all can hear me. Hope your weekend is going well or went well. And y'all, I pray that we are outside of the cone of this storm. What is it? Hurricane Ian, I believe. Um, yeah, Hurricane Ian. As of an hour ago, it is because I got this tracker, y'all, on my phone, and it gives me alerts, and I be looking like, okay, let me make sure I know where it is. Is it coming towards us or whatever? But right now, it's about 160 miles south of Grand Canyon. So I feel like it's going to be outside. We're outside of the cone, but you just never know. Things could change, child. Um, and if it's a lot of rain anyway, what'll happen is you still can. If it's a lot of rain, your power could go out, so you just got to make sure you're still prepared. So hopefully you guys had a great weekend. One of the things I wanted to kind of talk about, and I'm not going to be on here long because I know everybody is getting ready for their week, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come on. Hopefully, your week is planned out. So, usually on Sundays, what I do after I get the kids down and everything like that, I take a moment for myself and I try to write down the goals that I have for the week or specific things that I need to get done. So that way I don't feel like I'm scrambling at the start of the week. I already know what I need to do. I already have my little plan on how everything is going to get done. Um, and that kind of helps me feel like I'm a little bit more prepared during the week. And that includes, putting in time for yourself, meditation, reflecting on the weekend. Some people at the end of the day or the start of the week, they kind of reflect to figure out what went well last week, what didn't go well, and what we can do better the next week. So this will kind of help you all when you're trying to meet your goals and things like that. So hopefully your week is planned out, at least the first half of the week. Um, Hopefully you have that planned out and know what you need to get done, y'all. So I know my thumbnail tells it all, right? I wasn't going to talk about this because I was like, here we go again. Like I just now I'm a licensed therapist, but my specialty is not in couples therapy. So in the mental health field, you have different specialties too. And I'm not a couples therapist. Usually if I have someone calling me um and we do a consultation and they mention something regarding couples therapy or couples counseling, or if they kind of let me know what their current challenge is, and it has to do with their relationship, with their spouse, with their partner, or whatever it might be. I'm not the therapist. I'm not a new therapist, right? I've been doing this for years. And so usually when you are a new therapist, you pretty much take any case, right? And it's because you're trying to get you're getting experience, because at that point, when you're new, you've been through all of the classes, and you kind of know how to guide any of those sessions, right? And so you're trying to gain experience to see what specialty you would probably want to go in, or if you want to only do individual therapy, if you want to do couples therapy, family and marriage counseling, um what else? Or if you only want to work with adolescents or small children, maybe like with play therapy, things like that, right? But I'm a seasoned therapist. And so if someone calls me and they indicate that, I may refer them out. I have a list of colleagues, and where I know their work, I know what type of therapist they are, I know what their specialty is, and I know that whoever I send to them, they're going to get the best treatment, right? And so if it leans towards needing couples therapy, then I'm going to refer them out. Um, so I'm not a couples therapist, child. I don't want to be dealing with that. I don't want to be dealing with no couples. It's so many nuances with that. With so many nuances with having to meet one person for individual therapy, then you got to meet the other person, then y'all got to come together. Oh no, it's too much, honey. So I deal with individual therapy for adults. But this situation with Nia and Ime, right? Is that how you pronounce his name? I think so, Ime. It's so much with this, y'all. I just feel like there's a few things. The first thing is that this tells us that it doesn't matter what a woman looks like. It doesn't matter what her status is, doesn't matter how much money she has, doesn't matter how good of a mother she is, doesn't matter that she's been in movies, doesn't matter that she's a Hollywood star. You are not exempt from being cheated on. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. But I think all of us know that anybody could get cheated on. Cause look at Chloe, girl. That's a whole nother story. Chloe Kardashian. I Something ain't right with that. That I would have to do a whole separate video on that, because Chloe. I mean, it's a lot of issues there. But with Nia per se, like that tells us that. But I think as women, we know that the saying goes, a man is going to be a man, no matter who he is, right? So then, there are some lessons in that to make sure, like everybody is saying, always make sure you're prepared, right? As far as financially, as far as if you make the decision to leave someone, making sure you have your plans in place and things of that nature. However, when you look at the story a little bit deeper, right? And this is what I do. I ask the questions because if she was to come into my office, I would ask a lot of questions like, okay, they've been together for how long? How long? Let me see, because I want to make sure that I get the dates right. They're like in a long-term relationship. They've been in a relationship since 2010. What year are we in? 2000. We about to be in 2023. So maybe the understanding was that, okay, and they have a 10-year-old son. They have a 10-year-old son. So maybe the understanding, high school, how are you? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Just trying to prep for this storm. I hope your day went well as well. I think we're out of the we're in the clear. We're not in the cone, but you never know. Things could change by Tuesday evening. We'll see. We'll see. So, but thank you for joining the live. So yeah, so they've been together since 2010. They have a 10-year-old son. I mean, it's fine if you're in a long-term relationship, but I feel like it maybe, okay, this will go two ways. Maybe at their age, right? Because she is 51. um Maybe at that age you're like, you know what, it's cool. I just want a long term relationship. I just want a life partner. I don't really need to get married or anything like that. That's fine. But then on the other hand, it's kind of like, why not? Because I feel like if you were married and then you got to this point where something like this happened, you would be a little bit more protected, if that makes any sense. Like, if you did have to start over, because let's be, frank, nobody really knows. I mean, Nia might have a little money, but she ain't got probably as much money as Ime does. What y'all think? Like, as far as I don't know what movies she has been in lately, and that's no shade or anything like that, but is she, the last movie I remember seeing her in was like a movie on Lifetime or something like that. So if you were married to this man, I feel like you would, you know if you had to start over, then you would have a little bit more resources to do that. Now again, we don't know Nia's situation. Nia probably stacked up. Maybe that's why Nia like, I don't need to get married to you because I'm good. You know, but then too, it's kind of like there are other reasons to get married as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if to me, the only reason why you would be in a long-term relationship and don't want to get married is if both of y'all kind of decided like, okay, we're in a long-term relationship, but we're not saying that we wouldn't mess with anybody else if I found somebody. If y'all know what I'm saying. I don't know. I just feel a type of way about that. Like, why are we together since 2010 and we're not married? Like, and then we have a 10-year-old son. Like, I don't get it. Then the second thing I would question is, okay, because along with that, now they've been together since 2010, so we don't know like if they were living together at one point, like if they were in the same city at one point, maybe so. Maybe they were in the same city at one point, but since he been in Boston, they haven't even been in the same proximity. So it's kind of like, what are we doing this for? If you feel like, okay, I got my kid, I got my son or whatever, like, but I'm on one coast and he on the other coast, like, what are we really doing? Because why all of a sudden now I'm about to move to Boston? Why couldn't I have already moved to Boston? That would have been my question. Like, why I gotta wait to move to Boston? Like, I feel like we got enough funds for me to go ahead and move there now. And then again, I'm just thinking out loud. Because I don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? It's probably maybe it's reasons or whatever. But it seemed like they might have the resources to just go ahead and make the move. But why are we waiting? I don't get that. And then they've been engaged since 2015. We in 2000 in about to be in 2023. What are we waiting on? These when I say something and I say what are we waiting on? Those are the red flags. Long engagements. Why are we engaged so long? Usually when people get engaged, they are engaged for maybe a year, right? Or maybe you pushing it if you get to 2 years. At that point, we need to start asking some questions like, is it a financial thing? Is that the case? Maybe you wanted to get married, we wanted to have a destination wedding and we're kind of saving up. Maybe you don't come from a family. Usually the bride's parents, in America, whatever, pay for the wedding. Maybe we don't have those resources, so we got to save up ourselves or whatever. But these people appear to have the means. So why are we still engaged? But okay, so then this is okay. So y'all been engaged since 2015, but y'all don't plan on getting married. Girl, what? What? I don't understand that. I don't Marriage is not a priority. Why not? Y'all got a 10-year-old son. Why not? Why is marriage not a priority? If marriage wasn't a priority, why did you get engaged? Why did you get engaged? I don't get it. Something is not right. And so Nia says, and again, y'all, I don't know these people. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion. But Nia said she's going to focus on her children. Now, I think she has a older son, but isn't he? He's an adult, I thought. But this lady, 51 years old. Like, I feel like that's a statement that it's kind of like, I'm gonna say that because almost like that's what everybody expect her to say. But when I hear something like that, it's kind of like this person has low self-esteem or low confidence, almost like it ain't even worth of trying to find nobody else. Cause I mean, you 51 years old, you gotta start over, get to know people, find a person. Like, that'd be too much. That's too much. Like, I don't understand. So to me, those are the red flags of being engaged since 2015, but had no plans on getting married. Who didn't plan on getting married? Because usually a woman wants to get married. And my question is, I'm about to look this up, y'all. Has Nia ever been married? Has she ever been married? Now again, I'm not a couples therapist, y'all, but this is the mess that one of my colleagues, she loves doing couples therapy. I'm like, this is the mess she got to be dealing with. um, Hold on. Has she ever been married? No, I don't think so. She's never been married. And so in my opinion, every woman at some point in their lives, wants that quote unquote fairy tale of getting married, having children. You want to do it the quote unquote right way. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me. So then when you go back to the statement of we've been engaged since 2015 but had no plans of getting married, who didn't plan on getting married? Nia or Ime? Sound like to me, Ime didn't plan on getting married. But that's what I don't understand. These men, why do they do this? Like, if you, not even that you want to be with anybody else, because maybe he didn't have any plans on. I don't know the whole story with this lady he allegedly cheated with or whatever. But even if you didn't plan on being with her, if you knew that you didn't want to get married to anyone, why are you stringing this lady along? She already don't live near you. I mean, she already on the other coast. What are you holding on to? It's not like your son is 2 months old and you like, okay, I need to be there help, with the baby or what. This little boy 10. So if you're gonna leave or whatever, just go ahead and leave. Kids are very resilient. Now I can tell y'all that, and I don't do no couples therapy, but I didn't work with kids before. And them kids, you be worried about something, you be like, oh man, okay, we gotta help, the parents tell the kids this, we have to help the mom tell the kids this. I remember one time, I think I told this story before. I was working with a family and the mom was on drugs really bad, y'all. And the Lord must have been with me that day. I would see the mom every week, and she was to the best of her ability, when she could, right? Because she was addicted really bad. But when she was with her kids, she was the best mom, y'all. And she had two little kids. They couldn't have been no more. Both of them couldn't have been no more than about 10. And she was just a hands-on mom when she was there. And I would see her every week. I remember, I would never forget this lady. And I went when I used to meet her because they had a house, very, very nice house. They had a house, but then she used to have another house that she would go to get high because she didn't want her kids to see her like that, right? So after she put them to sleep and stuff like that, she would go to this house and she would go to this house and she would stay there, stay the night or whatever. And that's where I would meet the lady at. And y'all, one day I went and when I first started meeting, she said, don't come in the front, don't park in the front. You gotta like come through the and see this is what this is why I be feeling for people who are new therapists and they have to do in-home. I'm telling y'all that in-home is no joke. If you can do in-home therapy, baby, you can do anything. You hear me? But the neighborhood wasn't a bad neighborhood, but she's like, don't park in the front. You gotta like park in the alley. And from where I'm from St. Louis, y'all. And St. Louis, you ain't about to go drive up in no alley, okay? But the alleys here are not, let me just say, the hoods here are not like the hoods in St. Louis, okay? So she's like, okay, you gotta drive through the back and park in the back. So the alley, you go through the alley, you get to the house. It was like a driveway in there in the back of the house too. So I go back there and I see a whole bunch of police cars, y'all. And I'm like, what the police doing here? Now I was a newbie. I was a newbie. And so it did not occur to me like, okay, let me stay in my car, and think about what might be going on. I mean, it was so many cars there. Now they didn't have any tape or anything, but it was just a whole bunch of police cars, a whole bunch of them detective cars. And I said, well, wonder what happened here. So my crazy self, I didn't got out the car with my little bag, thinking I'm about to go, thinking I'm about to go do a session, y'all. Girl, that detective stopped me in my tracks. He said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm, such and such. I'm ready to do a session." He said, "You ain't doing no session today." Because this lady then passed. Y'all, that lady had overdosed in that house. She had overdosed in that house, and I was scheduled to see her that day. And thank goodness I got there after the police did, because baby, that scared me so bad. Now I had before that, I had been in situations or had experienced clients, with some horrifying stories and things like that. But that scared me so that day. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And I said to myself, I don't know if I could do this, because the husband, he had, for some reason, he had went over there, and he's the one who found her. And he called, the police or whatever. And so after that, I had to help the dad tell the kids. I had to help the dad tell the kids. Now, in therapy, we don't recommend that the therapist tells the children. You're just there for like support, for the parent or the family, right? You kind of talk to them beforehand, kind of coach them on what to say. If they say, well, what if the kids say this? You give them some recommendations, but it's up to them to tell them, right? And so I think it was the next day, and I had to go to that man's house to tell them kids. And I mean, I was scared for the kids, because they, like I said, they couldn't have been more than 10 years old, both of them. And I felt for them. I'm like, they don't have their mom no more. And the dad, I think it was the dad and the grandmother there. And they sat him down, told him, the little girl, she said, I already knew. I will never forget that. Girl, at school, I called my supervisor, right? That man, he gave me the detective gave me his card. I'm like, I don't need this, because I don't know nothing about what did happen to this lady and what she didn't did. And he said, you have any information, you call. I said, oh my God. So I had to go back to I called my supervisor, and thank goodness, supervisor I had at that time, she was very supportive. She was like, come back to the office, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Because I was in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to meet her at this time. And she's like, come back, we'll talk about it, let's debrief. And so yeah, so I told I went, I had to go to the house the day after. And the father told them, and the little girl, she said, I never forget this. She said, I already knew something happened to my mom. because she did not call me last night. Now, usually, like when she goes to the house, she'll still call the kids, tell them good night and stuff like that. Like I feel like the kids knew that the mom was not right in some kind of way, that her health was not right, but they just didn't know what it was. And they were a well-to-do family too. And the little girl said, I knew that something happened to my mom because she did not call me to tell me good night. And them kids didn't shed a tear. You hear me? Those children did not shed a tear. They, after the dad told them, hugged them up and everything like that, let them know he was going to support them. They were going to get through it and all of this. Them kids went right back outside because they had a pool in the back. They went right back outside that back door and jumped in the pool. And I said, well, shut my mouth wide open. Girl, I thought that them kids were gonna be boo-hooing and crying. And it was like I said, she wasn't a mom that was not there. Like it would be like in the evening. As in the morning for school, she would make their lunch, she would be making breakfast for them, all kind of stuff. But right after them kids went to school, baby, she was at it with them drugs. And so they saw her every day. And I said, they're gonna fall apart, how and now not to say now kids, so we know kids are resilient, right? They take life as it is. Now, not to say that as they get a little bit older, they start to think about, have questions and things like that nobody either wants to answer or nobody can answer about their mom. They may start to feel a certain way. That's why they have to be in therapy when things like this go on as kids, right? But kids are resilient and they get over it. They move on faster than adults. Well, we are the ones that worry about how they're gonna feel, what they're gonna say. Yes, they are. What they're gonna say, what they're gonna ask us. And like I say, those kids sat there, they took it all in. They hugged up the grandma, hugged up the dad, and after that, they went right on outside and jumped in the pool. And I looked and said, "Well, I guess my job here, I didn't, have to do anything really." But I think I stayed for a few weeks to just support the dad and through the funeral and the memorial and stuff like that, and then I discharged the case. I think with them I had transferred the kids or gave the kids a resource for like their school counselor and things like that. Um and yeah, so yeah, like I said, I will never forget that story. I got a whole bunch of stories, y'all, but that's for a later day. Now, so I said all that to say that this little boy of Ime's and Nia's, he ain't worried about that. So that can't be the reason why you ain't leave this lady if you knew you really didn't want to get married. Like, why are you holding on to her? That's the part that I don't get with the situation. Like, I feel like some people, and not even just men, but people who just stay in relationship just to stay in it, it's kind of like you're gaining some kind of secondary benefit. You know what I'm saying? Is it that because you got me along on your arm? Like, but I don't think that's it, right? Or is it that you just got caught up in, because some people like the newness of things. Some people are passionate about passion, if that makes any sense. Like, you knew in a relationship, this the honeymoon phase, y'all getting together, y'all going on trips, just like newlyweds, right? Newlyweds, I ain't never met a newlywed that left their spouse's side. I mean, you are stuck like glue for them first, maybe two, maybe 3 years. Y'all go everywhere together. Y'all going on trips, especially if you ain't got no kids. Y'all doing a whole bunch of stuff, but y'all are stuck like glue. But after a while, it's like life starts to happen, and you got to do real stuff. You got to live a real life. This ain't no honeymoon no more. So But you've been with the lady since 2010. That's what I don't get. Like, did you just so then if that's the case, I feel like this ain't the first time Ime you've been messing with around. This might not be the first lady you've been messing around with or been flirting with, or because again, your long-term fiance, how that even sound? A long-term fiance. Come, get out of here. A long-term fiance? Because you've been engaged since 2015. A long-term fiance. Couldn't been me. Couldn't have been me. Um, you you got a long-term fiance and she don't live nowhere near you. So the newness is not there anymore. It's almost like it's not like she live in the same city and you working a lot and y'all, don't not seeing each other as much and you gotta make plans to see each other and all this stuff. She living on a whole nother coast. So what is really going on? This is what I don't understand. So I feel like that's a red flag. Like, okay, we get engaged, then when are we getting married? Like, and it's fine that if we got engaged and we're not getting married, that's fine. But you need to let me know. So guess what? So that I don't waste my time. I don't care how old I am, because I got ish to do. Okay. So, and then you can say, "Oh, it is hard to tell you." You know, I don't care about none of that. You better off telling me because see, now I'm really mad, right? And you didn't embarrass me because I'm a Hollywood star. You see what I'm saying? Like you've been sneaking around, and then you've been sneaking around at your job with somebody that's married. Like you look ridiculous, honestly. You look ridiculous. So that's a red flag to me, the long engagement and that little tidbit after that of but no plans of getting married. Now, this also could be long-term engagement, no plans of getting married with another tidbit that the public don't know about. No plans of getting married until Ime get his ish together because this ain't the first time that Ime then stepped out. Or this is not the first time that Ime has showed me that he not marriage material, but I'm willing to give him a chance. And see, that's where we messed up. When you see them red flags, it's like red flag after red flag after red flag. And it's like we keep going for what? When people show you who they are, I mean, everybody know this saying. When people show you who they are, you have to believe them. You got to believe them. It's like what 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 are we waiting on? So then let me see. Sunday, I'm looking at something. Y'all tell me what y'all think because um Nia girl and then so now it's like he got Nia looking crazy because she got to make a statement based on what you done did. Has he made a statement? He ain't made no statement. And then I feel like too now you because this is back to what I was saying. Let me get back on track. People passionate about passion. So is it that you wanted the newness of something? Like you just because it's people like that. It's people that get bored. It's people that get bored. And then let alone the lady don't even live your long-term fiance don't live near you. But it ain't like you can't just hop on a plane because you got the resources. Like I don't understand that. Y'all acting like y'all regular people. Like y'all are not regular when it comes to finances, when it comes to resources, when it comes to your network, when it comes to your net worth. Like if you really want something with this lady, if you really wanted something new, you miss the newness of your relationship, New it, make it new again. Take her, get have the 10-year-old stay with somebody or whatever. I know y'all the family or whoever, and go on a trip just like that. It ain't like you got a plan, really plan. Well, maybe so because he worked for the NBA, so his schedule is probably tight or whatever. But make plans to go, go to New York or whatever and spend the weekend, or make it new again. If you miss the newness, why don't you make it new again? I don't get it. And then they said marriage is not a priority. Why not? I'm back to the original question. Why is marriage not a priority? And the only reason I could think of is because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not showing, and this could be Ime, this could be Nia, this could be both of them. You're not showing that you're marriage material. You're not showing that you can be faithful to me. You're not showing that you can be trustworthy. Even though you have all these resources, you have this network, you have these finances, you're not showing that you are willing to do what needs to be done for our family. You know what I mean? Like it could be a whole bunch of reasons why marriage is not a priority. People have their faults or whatever, and that's fine. But because it's all in what you're willing to deal with. It's all in what you're willing to deal with. Because maybe this not the first time and Nia stayed with him. Why? People say, oh, why do people stay and all this stuff? Because it's what you willing to deal with. It is what you want to do. If you love the man, you love him. Just like Chloe. Girl, Chloe. If she love it, I love it. Chloe love that man, baby. Chloe love that man. And so yeah, so it's all in what you willing to take, you know? And but I also think that it has to do with your now, okay, so let me go to this first. With anybody, not just Ime and Nia, even with Chloe, even with just a whole bunch of relationships and things like this happen, right? I feel like at the beginning of the relationship, it could be in the middle of the relationship. You got to make sure that people know what you are willing to take and what you're not willing to take. And you have to set some kind of boundaries so that they know that boundary of, okay, if I cheat on this person, they're gonna leave me. So let me think, if I really don't want to lose them, let me chill out. Or that might be the risk that you take. You know what I'm saying? You got, if your expectation, and this could go both ways, because see, I learned a long time ago that people, just like in my little short I did, people are not going to do things the way that you do them. People are not going to see things in the way that you see them. You could say, oh, if I was near, I would have left him a long time ago if I was near this, but you can't really say that because you know people are not going to do the things that you would do. And also Nia lives a totally different life, you know what I'm saying? And you never know what you would do if you was in that situation either, right? But I feel like we need to make sure that we setting boundaries with people, because some people would say that because of, now Nia has status, she's like a classic in our culture, right? She was in Love Jones, she been in all these movies, did an excellent job in all these movies, right? She's like Hollywood, one of the Hollywood, like Hollywood royalty to us. You know what I mean? Because she been in these classic movies that we love or whatever. She has status, but he also has status. And so I feel like when a man has that type of status, right? He has the finances. He works for an NBA team. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's almost like, okay, even though you have this status, whatever he wants to do, you gotta kind of bump down to that. And like whatever he does, you don't say nothing. Don't say anything. So then that's where you don't set your boundaries. It's like, oh, okay, but we good because he worked for the NBA and all this stuff or whatever. I'm telling you, people minds be thinking this or whatever. And so women, the boundaries are not put up. It's almost like unwritten rules. But no, you're gonna have to write them out and you're gonna have to say them because people don't know unless you tell them. Listen, this 2000 hold on, wait a minute. What's this 2022? It's 2012. Okay. We've had a teen we've had a baby, and my expectation is, I love you and everything like that, but my expectation, I already have a son. And so with another baby, I really want to get married. So if we are not married by such and such, and now some people, you won't even have to tell them the date. This is why you gotta have your ish together, right? Because you have that date in your mind and you let them know what the expectation is. I want to get married. And I don't want to be in a long-term relationship. That's letting them know I ain't waiting all day for you, right? So that date you got in your head of, okay, I'm gonna get this up to 3 years or 2 years, whatever it might be. And on that at that time, that's when you start packing up your up. The day was the last day. Yeah, he gonna be wondering. See, that's how I plan. He gonna be wondering where you going. What you mean where I'm going? I told you I want to get married. We're not married yet. I don't have no ring on my finger. I didn't have a baby. Deuces. Baby, ain't no way. You have got to, and baby, if you do that, I bet you he straighten up. If he really want to be with you, if he really want to be with you, I bet you he straighten up. When you show somebody that you not playing and you ain't just talking and you about that action, and when you say you gonna leave, you make some moves that show enough tell them that you getting ready to go, girl, they gonna be knocking at your door. Uh yeah, I saw you had packed your boxes. Can I talk to you for a few minutes? That's what's gonna happen. Watch. You got to set them boundaries. Now, sometimes with these men with all this high status and stuff like that, sometimes women don't say nothing because you reaping the benefits of being a long-term fiance. They didn't already said. Now you was on the other coast for a long time, but they did your move for you. They coordinated all of that. You didn't even have to do any of that. So it's like you getting the benefits too, but that to me, that's like monetary, right? You Money is not everything, y'all. And that's what people got to realize, that money is not everything. You want your morals, you want your values, you want your integrity. You don't want to be embarrassed in front of the world, right? So now it's like him, he gonna be able to move on. Now he didn't lost his job. Now you didn't mess with somebody that's married that you basically work with, fool. And now you didn't lost your job for a whole year. First of all, you didn't been suspended for a whole year. How you about to go back to work? You mean to tell me you gonna show your face up there after a year? These people ain't forgot that. You're gonna show your face at that gym, at that arena. Child, you can't, I don't believe that. He gonna have to find another job. Now look at again at all the people and all this stuff that has been affected because you made a poor decision. You made a poor decision. Now you're gonna have to explain to your son, because your son 10 years old, he in the double digits. So that means he on social media. And now this would really make me mad if I was Nia. Now you didn't really piss me off because I have to answer these questions that my son got about what you did. I gotta mend that. I gotta clean that up. It's always left on the mamas to do that, right? Now, as a mom, she has to clean that up, along with trying to mend herself, because she been with somebody all this time. So I would imagine that Nia will go through some type of phase where she feels like, well, maybe I'm not, the person that everybody is kind of putting her out to be. She is beautiful, she's talented, you know, and things like that. So it's kind of like she's starting now. She is going to be a period where she questions herself, like, well, what did I do wrong? What didn't I do? Or what could I have done? And the answer is no, you couldn't have done nothing, because it was on him that he made a poor decision and didn't think about nobody else but himself. He didn't think about nobody else but himself. For what, one night or a few nights or a couple nights when he was bored or something like that. Like, this goes back to what my thumbnail says. What's done in the dark gonna always come to light every time. And it may not be today. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 10 years from now. Heck, it could be 20 years from now. But if something that you doing is not right, and it's you doing it in the dark, don't right, it's gonna come to light. You could believe that. You could believe that. So now this lady, Nia, now she gotta clean everything up. She gotta make a statement. She gotta comfort her son, or it could be flipped. The son at 10 years old, because I mean, you can't imagine, but you gotta think Nia is hurt. You know what I mean? And I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that it's a good idea to hide emotions from kids, because it shows them that, right, he made it so messy. Like, come on. Like, okay, you if you never show them that you cry sometimes, that you get upset sometimes, right? It's almost like they're not supposed to be that way. They learn that they're not supposed to be angry, or they're not supposed to cry. Those emotions are okay to show them. It's just that you also have to show them what to do after that. What do you do with your anger? What do you do when when you feel very passionate? Because crying is okay. Crying just means that you're very passionate about something, right? So what do you do with that? Instead of letting them know, no, I sometimes, and I ain't gonna lie, sometimes too, especially sometimes with my son, I say stop that crying, but I have some a lot of times I have to check myself. It's okay for him to cry, right? It's okay. Now what are we gonna do? How are we going to solve the problem? You can't just wallow in that. You know what I mean? And again, crying is just means that you are passionate about something, right? So I can only imagine. Now it could be two ways. Nia is probably not showing her son that she upset, because why? We want to show our kids that we're strong. Sometimes we can't be strong. Some instances, like, we tired of being strong all the time. Like, for real, for real. It's okay for us to be upset. It's okay for us to be disappointed. It's okay for us to express how we really feel about something. Like, you know what? I gave this man years of my life. And now the public has to see that I'm being cheated on. Like, I'm mad as hell. You know what I mean? So she may not be showing her son that she's upset, but then also he based on her energy, her son can feel that she's upset. And if he got social media, he can understand that even though she's not showing him that she is, right? So then he has left a door open for his son to not have to, but feel like he has to solve this problem for his mom. that he has to comfort his mom, that he has to be there for his mom emotionally, and that ain't right. That would be the thing that would really piss me off, because now you didn't put my son in a position where he has to basically cover for you, and that ain't finna go down. He gotta feel like he has to save his mom from being upset or comfort her, or that's not right. Now you didn't think about none of that when you was with this lady. I just it just sickens me. um let's see what else. Da, da, da. But then too, like I said, I don't see anywhere where it says Nia was uh married at all. And I just wonder why. Maybe, and some people don't want to get married. That's their prerogative. You know what I'm saying? But every woman that I done met at some point in their life, they want to get married. You know, they want to get married, have a family, and stuff like that. And then people want to uh people want to show their kids the quote unquote, right way to do something. You get married, then you have children, things like that. Yeah, so what do y'all think? I mean, this is just mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. But I feel like there probably were red flags. And like I said, you got to put up your boundaries. You got to say, this is what I expect. And you can't expect people to uh like do everything you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't control anybody. But you can dang sure say, you know what? This is the type of relationship I'm looking for. I'm a little bit older now. I already have one child. These are my expectations. And if you cannot meet those expectations, then now again, we don't know really what the relationship looked like. You know what I'm saying? Nia could, maybe she did her dirt too. Who knows? You know, maybe it was something that wasn't going right in the relationship as far as he was concerned. But that's why you gotta communicate. And if you're not near each other, you don't live in the same city, you don't live in the same place. Like, I feel like it's hard to do that, because I'm gonna get tired of talking on the phone. I'm gonna get tired of sending you text messages. You already busy because you working for the NBA and you at practice and all this stuff. So I don't know what kind of relationship this was, because you're not in the same city, and then on top of that, you're probably not communicating that much because he working a lot. Oh, but he found time to do what he did though. See, that's what I'm saying. People are passionate about passion. And like they say, if you really want to do something, uh you are going to find time to do it. So again, if you really wanted to be with Nia, if you really didn't want a long-term fiance, you really wanted to get married, then that's what you would have did. You wouldn't have been having this lady basically waiting for you. Because again, what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? And it better not be for no it better not be for no Celtics to win no championship or nothing like that. It better not be nothing that got to do with your job. Because I don't care about that job. But some people that be in that sports world, ooh, baby, they love them sports. They'll wait. They'll wait. They'll say, oh yeah, once they win a championship, that's what we gonna do it. I don't care nothing about that. And she did some tweets. What she say? Oh, wait a minute, let me see. She said, oh no, these not her tweets. Um, yeah, uh-huh. Right. Some people are saying like he just needed to be real. That's straight up. Like it's like almost like you gave her a ring so she could like be quiet. Because I'm telling you, if you are a person that because okay, if you accepted the ring, then that tells me that you want to get married. Because if he stepped up and said, "Okay, I'm gonna engage," then you would have said, "No, I don't need no ring. We don't got to show. We don't have to prove nothing to nobody. We know what our relationship is." You wouldn't have accepted a ring as an engagement. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of tells me that you did want to get married at some point, right? And so it's kind of like maybe y'all got engaged in 2015. Maybe, around some point, Neil, like, okay, well, what are we waiting on? Like, what's going on? We need to go ahead and get married. And it's like he was doing stuff to just kind of make her be quiet about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just, or maybe she was talking about it before he gave her the ring, and he like, oh, let me just give her the ring so she can, or like I can give her something, you know, because it could be, because some people like this, y'all. It's like, because people be like, okay, well, if he really didn't want to be with her, like, why would he give her the ring just to shut her up? Like, why wouldn't he just leave her alone? It's like it's something that she's provided that he know another woman won't, and he don't want to lose her. But then you don't want to fly right, and hopefully, I mean, it's kind of like Nia couldn't see that. It's like, okay, I got the ring. It's like I'm in. We engaged now. I already got the son. I got the ring. And it's not even to say that Nia was like desperate or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just thinking like, okay, this is a sign that we are moving forward. When all the while he got other plans for his life. You know what I'm saying? He got other plans of meeting somebody new and all this stuff or whatever. And I agree, like he should have just told her, like, you know what, I think you're great. We do have a son or whatever. Like I really want to get along for his sake and all this stuff, but I really don't see myself getting married. And she would have had to accept that because he being real. She would have had to accept that. But now I can't accept nothing you said because you went instead of telling me that and being upfront and being honest, you know what I'm saying? You went and did some crazy stuff that not only affected me, but affected you too. Like now you can't even do what you really want to do as far as your career because you messing with somebody. Like take that in. Because you want to get into bed with somebody. Like something gotta really be wrong with you. Like you not only you it's like you embarrass me, but you embarrass yourself too. Like what are you really, and you have a son. What are you showing him? Like I just don't get it when people be making these decisions, man. Like I just oh, her other son, he 21. Right, yeah, he's 21. What she say? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, he did. Is this him making a statement? No, this is the lady. Oh no, he apologized to his team and family. I know it's too late for that. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear that. Nope. Mm-mm-mm. Talking about he put the team in a difficult situation. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. That is crazy. But yeah, like listen to the red flags. It's always red flags. It's always red flags. And again, not saying that if it's a red flag, you should leave or whatever. You've got to, this is why you got to be have self-awareness and know yourself, understand yourself, and you got to know what you are willing to take, what you're willing to deal with, and what you're not willing to deal with. And if you say, okay, You did it. I'm willing to deal with it. I'm willing to stay with you. Then you got to stick to that. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to stay, but then every few minutes you bringing it up. Well, you did cheat on me. Well, this and you can't bring that up no more because you decided to stay. You decided to stay in it. So ain't no sense in bringing it up. But again, this is why you got to know yourself. This is why you got to be self aware that, okay, this is what I'm going to take. This is what I'm not. This is the type of relationship that I want to be in. And if they ain't coming with that, then I don't want it. You got to stand firm to that. But I think sometimes people people rather be with somebody than not be with somebody at all. It's like you just want somebody, if that makes any sense. Like you just want to be with somebody. And, I mean, and that's fine, or whatever. But you can do bad all by yourself. Don't nobody gotta take this. Don't nobody got to take that. Why would you want to be cheated on? Why would you want to be humiliated? Especially if you with somebody who they did it before. Especially like in Chloe's situation, if this how you got them, if this is how you got them, and you say, "Oh, we're gonna have a different relationship," girl, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. You're gonna be hurt. And again, y'all might be good that first year, but baby, it's gonna come a time where he gonna do you like he did that other one. Watch and see. Watch and see. And because I can only figure out what you're gonna do in the future really by your past behavior. Right? How do I know? Because I believe patterns. It's patterns that people show, right? You can make your mouth say anything, but what you show me is gonna tell me if I'm gonna be able to be in a marriage with you or not, in a long-term relationship with you or not, right? Right? You people show you patterns, and you've got to believe those patterns. You got to believe those patterns. So again, if you're willing to stick with somebody based on their patterns, if you like it, I love it. So that's just my thoughts on the whole thing. Um, my thoughts. I'm just giving my opinion. Thank you all for tuning in on this late on this Sunday evening. I hope your week goes well. Make sure we crush some goals this week, y'all. Um, and I have a few videos or a few lives planned this week, but I think I have a pretty busy week. But I'll be able to get most of it done. But so yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel. Make sure you like the live, and for those of you who haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? This channel is all about mental health. This is where you can get your questions answered for yourself or someone else. I have a lot of great things planned for this channel. And again, I appreciate you all. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.